Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A chill is felt throughout the world, like a gust of wind, like the Lich King himself has been summoned and is now walking among the earth. The revolutions are springing all throughout the lands. China, in turmoil. People openly disparaging the Chinese government, the CCP, the People's Party. They've went to the streets. They're mad. They're throwing stuff. They're tired of the zero COVID policy. In Canada, Justin Trudeau testifies in front for his enactment of the Emergencies Act in Canada for infringing upon the liberties and freedoms of Canadians and their right to protest during the Freedom Convoy in 2022. All across the world, people are speaking truth and being silenced and fighting in the name of our freedom, fighting in the name of being able to live a life and be secure and not have to live under some form of government, some entity like we're something lesser than what we truly are. These systems that tell people they're crazy, that their ideas are radical, that they don't fit, so they have to conform. You don't want to be welled shut inside of your apartment. Upon which one situation in case in which a lady and her baby were trapped inside of her apartment while it was burning, and nobody came to rescue them. So I guess that kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths. And apparently the folks over at Foxconn, where they make all our iPhones, which I'm actually recording this show on, so shout out to those guys. Couldn't do without you, literally. But apparently they're mad, and they don't want to make iPhones anymore for some reason. I'm not sure the details. I don't speak Chinese, but they're throwing stuff, they're knocking stuff over, and it doesn't seem like much of a orientation. It's not normally how a training's supposed to go, and apparently these are all new workers. And they're saying there's been these one-off explosions, not literal, but figurative explosions of resistance and rebellion all throughout the country. And, they're saying it was just in Shanghai at first, but then apparently a couple other cities as well started to participate in this form of resistance. And what is resistance, That's the interesting thing. Here in Canada, we had a little resistance, I suppose you could say, with our Freedom Convoy, and from the looks of it, by all forecasts, it looks like there's going to be another Freedom Convoy. There's going to be a Freedom Convoy 2.0 in this February, and the big question is, we're currently discussing in Canadian courts whether or not the original Freedom Convoy was illegal or not. That's what the whole inquiry over the past 30 days has been about, upon which Chrystia Freeland testified on Thursday night of this week. I'm recording this on Sunday night. Normally I record the show, and I'll be uploading this on Sunday night as well. Normally I record the show and I try and get it up for Saturday night. But unfortunately I didn't do that this weekend, and so now here I am talking to you. But Chrystia Freeland and Justin Trudeau testified for the Emergencies Act. And all evidence has been admitted and will be put before the judge, where he will make a decision. And that decision will decide upon whether this Emergencies Act was legal, which will determine whether or not this protest was legal, and whether or not this new Freedom Convoy protest will be illegal or legal. This will set a huge precedent. Whatever is decided in our courts in Canada, whoever's making this decision, the judge who has now all the evidence that has been admitted to him through this Emergencies Act inquiry, where we've went through all over these testifications. We've brought in all witnesses, and everyone's brought in their take of the story. They'll be accepting written submissions. And not to sound really dry, guys, with the politics and whatnot of all this, but it really has big fucking implications, because I plan on going to this Freedom Convoy 2.0 event. And if we're going to this thing and it's illegal, and they say that the first Freedom Convoy, that the Emergencies Act was justified, and Justin Trudeau did a good job running that old lady over with a horse, that it was all necessary, and that the protest upon which, I mean, if you were actually there, you would have seen that it was like a celebration. It was like a celebration of people, and it was a happy event, and it was ecstatic, and people were cheerful. It was almost beautiful. It was almost like a festival. And they're trying to spin a narrative that people were afraid to go to work. Most of the streets were clean. There was absolute access. Unless you were on the front lawns of Parliament, there was absolute access. There was no disruption of the entire city. The city was not taken hostage, as these liberals like to spin it. And but if these judges come to the conclusion that the Emergencies Act was completely illegal, was completely justified, and that the protests were illegal, well, we're completely fucked, because that means everybody that participated in the original protest is a felon or some type of criminal, some type of like resistor that's not allowed. Or, anyone who participates in any future type of protest of that nature for the sake of freedom in Canada in front of Parliament will be probably treated as criminals like they were the first time. They'll probably call in the military for real this time. The first time, the Canadian military didn't want to get involved. They said, no, there's no way we're going to do that. But now, if this is the precedent that's going to be set, well, there's no reason that they couldn't call in the Canadian military this time around. And, I just got to say this. Like, I really have to have faith in these courts. I really have to have faith in these courts to see to it that this was an abuse of Justin Trudeau's power, that, they're trying to put off blame. They're trying to say that, it wasn't Justin Trudeau that made the decision. He was informed and advised by the CSIS director, and that the CSIS director was making this decision with him and the people in his oval fucking table, Oval Office room or whatever, and they informed Justin Trudeau and the Liberals, and then they helped them make the decision, and it was the right decision for the country of Canada, because Canada was, that was at stake, the safety of Canadians. But then they're also the same institution. The CSIS is the same institution that said Canada was never, under a real threat from the Freedom Convoy movement. There was also that, the statement they made. So there's just a lot of contradictions here. Like, what was it here? Like, we know what it is. We're getting lied to. We're getting fucked around here, and they're going to try and make up a story, and they're going to try and erase what really happened. This is what China's doing to their people. It's the same thing across the world. They might be a little more light, a little less hardcore, a little less quick to, get the guns out over here in Canada. Maybe we're a little more polite, but they have an absolute disregard for the common citizen and their ability to have a say and to make an impression. They want to censor the message. They don't want you to say, nonsense. They don't want you to say certain things on TikTok. They'll call it violence and whatnot, and they rip you down. They rip people apart, and it's unjustified. It's complete. They don't need justification. It's like they're just shooting the same way like these regimes will shoot aimlessly into a crowd of people, to try and get them to settle down. It's like the same thing they do with they treat people like on social media. They'll just you might say something completely random, but then they'll try and twist it into somehow being hateful or abusive language and then ban you. Like, I've been getting hit hard with the censorship on TikTok, and I haven't been able to actually post on TikTok, which is like a great source of viewership for my new channel, where, YouTube's not necessarily favoring me in the algorithms most of the time. It's nice to be able to go and have access to the platform. However, I don't know if Xi Jinping or some commies, whoever runs it in Beijing, whoever's running the customer service side of things doesn't like what I'm posting, but I'm getting I'm getting censored left and right on that app, and I might not be able to do that TikToks anymore. And I love ticking and talking. I'm a TikTok kind of guy. I'm all about it. Okay? But they don't want us to resist. They don't want us to come together across the world and start pushing back against these living conditions. They don't want to push back against the fact that they're trying to create a technologically induced and imposed proletariat class where they're going to rule over us in a technocracy. They're going to use technology to number us and systemize our lives and turn it into some type of weird technological dystopia. Like, there's different types of realities. There's different arts and different, like, there's even in fiction, we use cyberpunk, the cyberpunk future, the utopian cyberpunk, there's the aero abstergo, what's it called? Aesthetic. The aero abstergo aesthetic from like the 2000s that I rediscovered this week, and it like depicts like a very beautiful and utopian world of technology and possibility, and you know, the grass is very green and there's butterflies and everything looks kind of like a Windows screensaver. It's a very beautiful world, and it's something we can attain through technology, and it's right now it's just a place in the hearts and minds of people. But it doesn't look like that's the kind of reality we're getting. It looks like we're getting some weird, dark, sunless world where we're marching through sullen, ashen hills with children forced to wear masks and hazmat suits. Like this isn't. It's not the reality of fairies and, you know, and green hills and pastures with all this crazy, insane policy, welding people shut inside of their apartments, you know, giving people, you know, horrible, like not letting people go home once they get to the factory where they're supposed to work at, not letting people leave, threatening their family, like giving people insane working conditions like they do at that Foxconn factory. Same, like, you don't think they're gonna push that shit on us in here in Canada? What they're doing to people in China is it's not just it's a sin. It's a sin, okay? And it's not just a sin for them; it's a sin for all, the whole world. We recognize that and we see that, and that's because social media and technology gives us the ability to see it. And because of our ability to see that, and because of the light that's been shined upon that, we have a knowledge, and we no longer are arrogant. And because of that, we have to act and we have to respond accordingly. You can't have people you can't have a billion people living as slaves. You can't. It's not fair. It's not fucking fair when there's like 30 million people who get to live life in a good manner. It doesn't make sense. You know, I'm not saying we get all communist and build like community farms and shit. But, you know, if like a bunch of people are stuck eating fucking cats and like weird sewage oil for their cooking, and they're getting like stomped on by hazmat suit police officers, maybe we should step in and be like, hey, like, you know, it doesn't have to, we don't like, not everybody lives like this. Like, there's 300 million people in the United States that believe in freedom. The world isn't necessarily like that. These Eastern countries, these tyrannical Eastern countries that are all working together, this cabal that is probably reinforcing the liberal cabal that has taken over our countries, right? It's enslaving so many people. It's putting so many people in this fucking shitty position. There's no reason we don't stand up to this, okay? Xi Jinping is turning those people into mind-numbing zombies with the living conditions that they're put in, and they're done. They've had enough. You're seeing these videos. These guys are carrying around flowers. They're not carrying around torches. They don't got pitchforks. They're carrying flowers. They have a message of peace. They don't want violence, but their complete message is verbal non-compliance and complete peace. Their idea isn't to attack. They haven't picked up weapons. It's a completely peaceful arrangement. I find it helpful at times like these to remind myself that our true enemy is actually instinct. See, instinct was our mother. in when we were an infant species, Instinct coddled us and kept us safe while we hardened our sticks and cooked our first meals above meager fires, and started at the shadows that leapt upon the cavern's walls. But inseparable from instinct is its dark twin, okay? Superstition. All right? Instinct is inextricably bound to unreasoning impulses. And today we see clearly its true nature with these anti-maskers, these individuals who deny the truth of the vaccine. Okay? Instinct has become aware of its irrelevance, and like a cornered beast, it will not go down without a bloody fight. Instinct would inflict a fatal injury on our species. Instinct creates its own oppressors and bids us rise up against them. Instinct tells us that the unknown is a threat rather than an opportunity. Instinct slyly and covertly compels us away from change and progress. Instinct, and therefore must be expunged. It must be fought tooth and nail, beginning with the basest of human urges, the urge to reproduce. We have to stop these people from reproducing. We need to institute a zero child policy, a zero COVID policy, a zero carbon emission policy. We need to establish a zero people policy. In fact, here in China 2.0, after this revolution, little nonsense going on, we're planning on legalizing cannibalism to feed our people, and all non loyal party members, all non-loyal citizens will be made to be processed into nutrition for those loyal patriots to the great CCP, China, Red Nation. You will be fully fed and taken care of at the expense of other people. We will turn those anti-vaxxers into meatloaf. We will feed the true loyal citizen with their flesh. If you're a good citizen, if you take your vaccine, if you get your fucking barcode stamped on the back of your head, you get as much revolutionary, or what do you call them? What do you call them? You get as much anti-vaxxer meatloaf as you want. You can have as much. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna legalize cannibalism, and they're gonna federalize it, and they're going to go and hunt down their political enemies. And instead of having death camps like the Nazis truly weren't that efficient. The Nazis were good. They cut off their hair. They buzzed off all their hair. They took all their jewelry. They had furnaces. They used gas chambers. That's pretty efficient. You're doing a pretty good job. But there's a couple improvements you could make. What if instead of just incinerating the bodies and wasting all that good protein, you just put it in, how they make McNuggets? Same thing. Just do execution by blender. You scrape all that good stuff up, you put it together, boom. That's enough nuggies to feed 1,000 patriots. Problem solved. That's how you take care of a rebellion. And that's how we'll take care of the Chinese rebellion. All these resistor members will be dealt with accordingly. Yeah, I feel like that's the absolute conclusion of these tyrants. I feel like maybe in the end that's what's coming for us. Maybe that's how they'll get me in the end. They won't even have the decency to just shoot me with a firing squad. They'll just blend me into nugget paste. They'll probably be like a 50-50 blend, 50% crickets, 50% fucking 50% like criminal scum, or like anti-citizen nuggets. You'll be able to buy like anti-citizen nuggets, and you'll know as like a liberal commie, whatever, like sheeple, you'll know that you're eating your enemies. And that'll like embolden you even more. That'll make you feel, you'll be like tight. You'll be like, this is nice. Like I'm really getting back. He thought he was fuck James. He thought he was so based and red pilled. Who's on top now? Eating anti-citizen nuggies. Yeah. No, I had a dream actually where see, I don't know what's going on here with this whole Russia-Ukraine thing. And I know there's like all these random people. I see all these videos on TikTok, and there's these like random folks that are like running around in Ukraine, like just like they're not a part of the actual army, but they're just running around, and they're like sanctioned to like kill Russian soldiers, and they're getting paid to do it, like mercenaries. And that's crazy to think. And I don't know what that did to me. Must have got my imagination going or something. Because I was having this dream where, I don't know, like I didn't have any money, and I was like stuck in this. In my dream, I'm always in this like giant tropical like island, I guess. It's like a giant tropical world. And there's like all these like metropolises, and I'm always dropped in the metropolis, and I'm always doing stuff. But this time I was in my dream in metropolis, and I was trying to get food at a restaurant like normal. And I didn't have money, which is quite close to the reality. So, it sucked. And then I remember, like, I had this choice. It was, like, the military of Canada, or in this dream, was, like, if you come work for us, we'll, like, give you all kinds of money. And I was like, really? Like, you'll give me money to come and, like fight for you? And they're like, yeah, like, join the military. But the way it worked in this dream was, you didn't like get trained or anything. You didn't have to go through like a process. They would just, the same way it works in like Warzone or Fortnite or Call of Duty. We would they put us in a plane. They gave us like all kinds of guns, and so I was like kitted up. I had a gun. I was all set up, and then they just dropped us over. They flew over like a country. They said it was like, okay, here, this is the place where the war is. And they told us to jump out of the plane. So we all jump into this plane, and then we're all, I'm like terrified. I don't want to jump out of this fucking plane, but I signed up for this, and I'm gonna get paid a lot of money, they said. So I just gotta survive this one mission, because the way it was set up was like it was like a flex schedule, military. You didn't have to work every day. You didn't have to. You weren't stuck in there for 40 years. You could come and do like one mission and get out. If you wanted to come, do one mission, do 3 missions, you could get paid for per mission. So that's what enticed me. I was like, oh, are you telling me I can do like flex military, like flex schedule for the military? Cool. I'll just do like one mission. So I'm like terrified to jump out of this ship. And I jump out and I parachute down, and it's all fine. And I land in like a swamp. And then, like, I'm down there, and I'm, like, fighting. It's like a swamp. And then there's, like, a coastal area. Like, we're going to the woods, and we're fighting through the swamp and the woods. And we get out to, like, this coast. And I can see the ocean. And it's, like... And I'm, like, there's, like, a big, like... I don't know, monster or something we're fucking shooting at. And this is, like, the military I'm in. And, yeah. I don't know. And then, like, after we basically were fighting. And then, like... I don't know, we were chilling, and then a big monster came out of the swamp, and it, like, ate everybody. But I like, ran up on these, like, stilts in these trees in, like, a tree house, and I hid from the monster. So then the military came and picked me up, and then took me back. And instead of, like, just dropping me off, like instead of, like, bringing me back to a military base or something, like, it just, like, flew over, like, the place where I was from. I don't know, like, in this dream, I was from, like, one of the countries, the cities in this country, and I just jumped out of the plane flying home and landed where I wanted to land. Like, totally been playing too much Warzone. But anyways, maybe that's the future of warfare. Maybe it'll be like flex warfare. It'll be like you go and fight like a battle. Like, you'll go to Ukraine, they'll pay you like $3,000, oh, hey, you go fight for a week in Ukraine, because nobody wants to join the military anymore. Everyone's done with that shit. Like, nobody wants to like sign up for 10 years and know they're going to die. Like, that's not the play. But if you tell them like, ooh, one last job, you know, I'll give you $10,000 to go over to this Ukraine and do this mission. Oh, like everyone would sign up for that. You'd have like a bunch of boys. You could rally the troops that way. Mark my words, flex military is coming. Flex military. Like, you'll just be able to, you won't even need training. They'll just hand you a gun and drop you off like it's war zone. That is the future of warfare. It'll be satellites, missiles, and they'll be dropping off like lone wolves and operatives behind enemy lines to fuck shit up. And they'll be like, it'll just be fucking civilians parachuting down and attacking other civilians. Like, literal madness. All right. But ultimately, there's not a lot that we can necessarily, say about that. I don't know. And the way people are treating each other nowadays here in Canada, it's kind of like, I don't know, we're all kind of just like quietly waiting. We know what's coming. We know we're all waiting for something to happen. We're not going to stay living like retards, getting taxed 40% of our income when people barely make enough to live. That's just basic math. They want to say that they shut down Ottawa for a week or a month, or they made it hard for people to go to work, which is bullshit, because they had people working from home for almost 2 years. They had people being told that they couldn't leave their house, that they had to have a vaccine to go into a restaurant, that they had to wear a mask when they were outside on the street in some places, that they had to completely succumb to an insane and inhumane policy that completely disregarded all natural aspects of human life. It completely dehumanized us and derealized us, and we can hardly tell the mental impacts that's and implications of that. We are hardly done tallying that. Just so short, and we're barely out of it. And they're talking about more lockdowns and shit, And yet they have the audacity, Justin Trudeau has the audacity to say, oh, well, it wasn't fair to the citizens of Ottawa that we made it hard for them to live their daily lives. When the federal government of Canada, destroyed the daily life of every single Canadian man, child, and woman, and ruined the way of life. And I'm not new to this country. I've been here. I was born in this country. I am a 100% born and bred, red-blooded fucking Canadian. And I'll tell you what, this country has changed a lot, even in my short life. And I talk to these older folks that are, twice my age, 3 times my age, and the stuff they have to say is unbelievable. The stuff they know about the past and what we've lost. We've got so much more work to do. We have to clean up. We can't stay living off 45% taxes, with all this bullshit, these insane tax rates, these insane, fees for everything, these Service New Brunswick, Service Ontarios, these crazy. We need to form, like, not in a socialist commie way, but like a true people's society. We need to really rally the true people, like, for God, the God's people, Jesus's people, not fucking Justin Trudeau's weird socialist abortion, take your shots, free condoms, gay socialist commie fucking person. That's not the real person. That's not what people are really like. People are a little fucking wild. They're crazy, okay? And they need to be respected for that. They don't need to be treated like fucking thought criminals, or like their fucking ideas are illegal and that they're not allowed to have them. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to do what China does, huh? You're going to do what they did with Tiananmen Square? You're going to take Apache helicopters to fucking apartment buildings? You're going to kill everybody? You're going to starve everyone to death because they don't agree with you? Huh? And then you'll go and attack. Oh, well, they had a Nazi flag at their protest that your government fucking probably planted there. God forbid that comes out in the evidence. I remember the lawyer for the and the lawyer who was questioning Chrystia Freeland pointed that out in his questioning period with her, that might have been linked to the Trudeau government. Those flags might have been planted as part of an operation to defame the protest, to further justify in the public eye the Emergencies Act. And that would be absolutely disgusting. To think that that's the type of government that we have for us here in Canada. All right, we're being made into a very quiet, and we're being manipulated, and they're running over us, and they're lying with these communist and socialistic and this weird Marxist ideology. People are prudent as ever. They're becoming more prudent. Even in a sexual way, people have become prudent. It's almost reversed. Like it started off with like the whole LGBTQ and like, you know, female femininity movement thing was supposed to be like actually a release of, you know, pent up sexual repression. And it's actually started to kind of like bend back in the opposite way, where men and women aren't even forming relationships anymore. They're not having sex. They're not establishing families. They're not having children. A lot of them don't even have the means to raise these families. Nowadays, that is a more of a rare factor. And and you'd be insane to think that that's just a natural thing, that's just naturally occurring. Like, oh, there's too many people, so people are naturally having less kids. Like, no. People are having less kids because they can't fucking afford to live, because you're squeezing every goddamn penny out of them. You're treating them like a resource. You're not giving them their humanity. You don't recognize the soul. You don't recognize God. You're a lot of Justin Trudeau is probably he's a fucking what do you call him, the godless atheist. He's an atheist. He's probably a fucking atheist or some shit, you know. He probably isn't. He's probably claims to be a Christian, but the way he acts and the ugly faces they make while this whole interrogation's going on with the Freedom Convoy, where for the Emergencies Act inquiry, where he's sitting there and he's making these or Chrystia Freeland's like she's like melting, she's like having a fucking breakdown, and on the fucking stand, like this guy's asking basic questions, and she's like looking like she's gonna piss herself because she's so fucking afraid that she's gonna say something truthful. It's absolutely a sin. It's absolutely a sin. And you know what? The whole fucking world can tell. Even if 1/10 of Canadians give a fuck about what's going on right now with the with the Emergencies Act inquiry, okay? The whole world is fucking watching, and the whole world can see how spineless and how fucking despotic this fucking government is, okay? And we're not going to be stuck under it for much longer, because something's going to be done about it, and it's going to be real interesting to see what happens when we get to enjoy our illegal or legal, to be determined, Freedom Convoy 2.0 this February, which I'm glad and I'm happy. I'm really looking forward to. And I can't wait to attend it. And I can't wait to do the Gist with Josh on the front lawn of Parliament. I will be there for every fucking week that it is happening. I will do the Gist with Josh on the front lawn of Parliament. You know, if Justin Trudeau wants to come out and come on the fucking show, you know, maybe we'll get him on as a guest. You know, let's see what fucking happens, you know. We'll be there. We'll probably have like you know all bundled up. We'll keep it warm. Get a table or something. I can't see why not. You know, I would love to. You know, have like a no. I'd love to have like a table or something on the where like the front lawn, maybe next to like the Terry Fox statue, and you know, do the Just with Josh right in front of Parliament, right so Justin Trudeau can see us. He knows that we're talking about him, you know, knows that we're talking shit, you know, and there's nothing he'll be able to do about it. We'll be talking hella shit. I'll be all fired up. Yeah. I don't know what it is, and to be honest, it's like this, okay? The devil might run the playground, but God owns the school, okay? The devil might run the playground, but God owns the school. All right. And all these people saying I'm disrespectful on TikTok, telling me that I ain't shit. You know what? I truly, yeah. I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to. I was never respectful. That was never my goal. I think that's part of the problem, actually. I think everyone's trying to be a little too respectful. I think now is the time to let off a little steam, actually. I think that's really what we need. I think people need to express some pretty high-level opinions. I think this isn't simple. This isn't going to be easy. This is going to be a painful process. And the best we can do is talk about it, The best we can do is talk about it. And as far as I'm concerned, I support the Chinese. I support the Chinese people in their revolution. I hope it goes down. I hope it fucking goes down. And you know what? I fucking dare the Chinese government to try and do something violent and hurt those people. Because you know what? The whole fucking world is watching. And it's not going to be like it was in 1979 with Tiananmen Square. And I'll hop in a fucking jet like it's fucking Warzone or some shit. And I'll fly in. I'll jump out of the goddamn battle bus and parachute down there with a fucking SCAR ACR or some shit like a AK-47 myself. And I'll start fighting. I'll have fucking med kits and shields and shit. I'll fucking come down there with a glug jug. I'll fucking start healing up. I'll squat up. I'll come down there. I'll fucking listen. I'll fucking cap the point, Xi Jinping. I'll cap the goddamn point. All right, we'll go down there like it's Warzone, like it's Call of Duty or some shit. We'll cap the goddamn point. Okay, we're not gonna let you run over us. We're not gonna lay down like naked dead bodies and make your people fucking slaves and treat them like they're fucking cannon fodder. All right, we're gonna come down there like it's a fucking goddamn battle royale, and we're gonna fucking cap the point. All right, we're gonna push the payload. All right, we're gonna get that high score on your ass. You're not going to be able to sit there in your Winnie the Pooh looking ass eating with your hand in the honey pot. Nah. You'll be sitting there. You won't be able to wait. There'll be nowheres to wait. There'll be nowheres to fucking hide. God damn, this is no way this is going to last on TikTok. Everyone's anyways. Fuck you, Xi Jinping. Fuck you. I'm glad to see you're getting fucked. I would love to see you try and fuck up these people. Let it be known. Let it be known that under the grace of God, that these people have a spiritual barrier protected around them, and that millions around the world are praying for these people, and that the light, and that the infinite spirit, and that the tether that connects us all is wrapped and is imbibed in this people. And at this time we are charged, and we are full of this energy, and there's a frequency being sent out, and we will never be denied, and we will never relinquish, and you will feel the wrath of God. All right, Xi Jinping, Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden, Vladimir Putin, Zelensky, you fucking tyrants, you will feel the wrath of fucking God. So smarten the fuck up. Alright? And that goes for all us generous lobsters out there as well. Be cool. Play it safe. Don't be an asshole. Violence is not the answer. We can't just administer death penalties. I'm not saying that. But Justin Trudeau should be exiled from this country. He should be exiled. He should be sent to the Northwest Territories to live out for the rest of his life, and then no longer be allowed within the city of Ottawa. That should be his punishment. And Xi Jinping, he should be exiled to, I don't know, Taiwan or something. These people, these governments don't understand. They don't understand what it is. They don't understand light, vision. They don't understand what it means to see. They don't understand that realize, and that we're all realizing, and we can all see, and we have the power. We got the people. We got the Jew. We got everything old, and that becomes new. We're not afraid of the flu. We're about to create swords out of bamboo, coming at you in the color blue. There's not going to be a a world government dominating over us, deciding for us what to do with our bodies, deciding whether or not we're going to take vaccines, microchips, to choose whether that we're going to have social credits. Or that's not the type of reality we're creating. We are creating one of abundance. We're going to create a future of infinite abundance and wealth for all people to be able to enjoy a beautiful speculatory fucking not a speculatory fucking beautiful life, a beautiful, Windows screensaver fucking, but not like a artificial, you're living in a Matrix version, but like a nice type of that aesthetic of peace and beauty. And that's what technology is going to be for. We're gonna turn Mars into a beautiful blue, not barren, a beautiful blue paradise, okay, with oceans and tropical oases. And we're gonna have a lush green rainforests on that planet. And we're gonna have an Earth that is not only not barren and blackened from not having sun because Bill Gates fucking blotches it out with fucking nano black particles in the sky. Okay, we're going to have a beautiful paradise here as well. And we're going to achieve that through technology and through working together and through love, not through forcing other people into submission because they are lesser than, or they're a part of the social class that doesn't get to have houses and doesn't get to have money and has to go to work every day and hate their fucking lives. No, we're going to integrate. We're going to come together. We need to come together. Otherwise, the only alternative is bloodshed, literally bloody fucking war. And this is just with Josh. This is a comedy show. I don't know if I said that. This is a comedy show. This is a manic episode. This is not as comedic as I intend for it to be. But I just see all this serious shit going on. I see all this nightmarish living conditions that people are forced to live in. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just not in the mood to tell jokes about it. I have to wake up every day fucking 6 a.m. It's hard for me to be writing jokes. Don't worry, though. My funny bone is good and well. We just got to look after our bottom line. And in saying that, I would also like to do a shout out for my boy Sam, who owns a Zebo patch. Zebo patch is the most it's the vintage. It's the patch of the revolution. If you want to send a message, if you want to express yourself in a way that resonates with an Eastern European revolutionary aesthetic, I want you to go visit ZeboPatch.com or ZeboPatch shop on Etsy, or you can see it on Instagram as well, ZeboPatch. And I want you to go look at those patches because he's got some beautiful styles available, some beautiful styles, and it's quite fashionable. And it's almost like it's almost got like this old, very vintage style look, and it's very I don't want to say Gucci style, Gucci Gucci S, but it's it is almost kind of like that type of prestige. It's like a real authentic, and he's Polish, and his grandfather had these experiences, and this is where he gains this history, and it's resurging today because it's relevant to the conversation. So really, these Zebo patches are interesting, and I think they're going to be relevant. And he's going to be creating patches for Canadians to wear. Potentially he's potentially looking to attend the Freedom Convoy 2.0 as well with me. So go check out ZeboPatch.com. Check out those patches. Buy yourself some patches so people can see that can see that you have from a faraway view, that you have an appreciation and understanding of the old ways, and you understand what it means, what we're heading into, and what we have to do. Okay, and not to sound ominous, I'm just talking about anyways. This episode's been kind of all over the place, but frankly, I'm kind of tired, and it is what it is, and got to put out the gist, got to do the job, got to get it done. I'm glad that we could do this tonight. I'm glad that you people enjoy watching the show. I'm glad that we get to put out this content here and send it a little bit of a frequency. Let it be known that we know as Canadians that we're seeing what's going on here. And I don't know, just kind of talking about some of this stuff, especially as a younger guy, because a lot of the people my age, we don't get to talk about this kind of stuff because we don't think it's cool or something. Maybe, I don't fucking know. So here I am bringing it up. But it's our job to stay free and fight for that. So it is what it is. Anyways, this has been The Gist with Josh, episode number 21. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to call this episode, but thank you so much if you've been watching. Have a beautiful night and enjoy your week. Ciao, ciao. That was gay as fuck.